Hey, what's going on, guys? How is everybody doing? We are getting into the holiday season, not just because Christmas is coming up, but because we are about to get some brand new characters. Some brand new banners are coming, and you can also tell we're in the holiday season because we got a nice little tree over there. Look at the little tree. Oh, that's for my grandmother. Thank my grandmother, everybody, for that nice little tree. Wasn't that nice of her? I think it was. But yeah, so we have two brand new banners coming up. We of course have the Zhongli and Genshin banner, but we also have two brand new 5-star weapons coming to the game. So today's video, I want to go over quickly which of these banners should you be wishing on, if you should even be wishing on them, and you know, overall, is it worth it? So let's hop right in and discuss the banners. All right, so first up, we're going to look at the weapons banner. And of course, if you look at these, it looks like they were built with Geo characters in mind, and not shockingly, they were. So let's take a look at both of these weapons. Now we're going to be taking a look at the Unforged, but of note, both of these weapons, both the Claymore and the Polearm, have the exact same passive. So when we look at the passive, it's going to increase shield strength by 20%. Scoring hits on an opponent increases the attack by 4% for 8 seconds with a max 5 stacks. Can only occur once every 0.3 seconds. And while protected by a shield, this attack increase effect is increased by 100%, doubling it. So we're looking at an 8% increase for 8 seconds with a max of 5 stacks. So we're looking at a 40% attack increase. And that's really big. That's a lot of damage. And also of note, the substat on both of these weapons is attack percent. So basically these weapons are, for all intents and purposes, the same, just use them on different heroes. Now, I don't think with any question, if you're taking a look on the polearm, it's obviously like specifically designed for Zhongli. Like there's no way you're going to be using that weapon on Zhongling, and that's the only other polearm user in the game, because really that weapon was built for Zhongli. So if you're rolling on this banner, you should first be asking yourself if you're going to be wishing for Zhongli. If you are and you do get him, then you should be asking yourself, well, do I want to get this polearm for him specifically? You know, if he's that important to you, maybe you want to roll on this weapon banner. The next up is the Claymore. This one looks like it was specifically, or not specifically designed, but currently the only real user I would put this on is Noelle. Of course, you could put these on a different Claymore user. However, because the passive is built specifically with shields in mind, it only makes sense that you would put it on the character who's going to have the most uptime with those shields. Obviously, you can pass shields to other units, but since Noelle would be creating the shields, she is, by definition, going to get the most uptime. So if Noelle is, let's say, your main or one of your mains, maybe you want to roll for this Claymore. But overall, because these are so limited, I don't know that I can really suggest that you roll for these, especially if you're going just for the 5 stars. Now, looking at the 4-star weapons, because I think that's a little bit easier to determine whether you should be rolling on these banners or not. In terms of the 4-star weapons, we have two Favonius weapons. We have the Favonius Warbow and Favonius Codex. We have the Lion's Roar, the sword. We have the Dragon's Bane, the spear. And we have the Bell Claymore. Now, this is a really weird setup of weapons. So we have two energy recharge weapons, both the bow and the catalyst. Both are pretty decent. They're both pretty general usage. You know, they have energy recharge as built in as a substat. They're going to be getting you more elemental particles on their passives. They're decent. They're not like top tier weapons in my opinion, but they are extremely good, and they're very versatile. You can pretty much throw them on anyone because pretty much every unit in the game you're going to want to build their burst. So energy recharge, really good there. The sword and the polearm though are a little bit more specific. So with the sword, you're going to be looking at increased damage when the enemy is affected by electro or pyro, and with the polearm, you're looking at increased damage affected by pyro or hydro. Now, these are a little bit more team comp specific. Overall, in my opinion, these weapons are kind of mid-tier. I've actually really been enjoying Dragon's Bane on my Zhongling. Originally, I had her on Crescent Pike when I had her be a little bit more physical damage dealing, but now I've really just been using her as a support. And so because this weapon has built-in elemental mastery, it also has her dealing additional damage when enemies are affected by pyro and hydro. I have her on a team as a support with Child, and it works actually really well. So if you're building a Zhongling as a support, that might be a weapon that you want. I have mine max refinement and is doing really well. Lion's Roar I don't have much experience with, but you know, overall it kind of fits in the same category where if you have units who are using those elements, it might be a decent 4-star weapon for you to grab. Now, The bell, on the other hand, is a really weird one. I have not seen exactly where this weapon is supposed to fit in. I don't really know like which Claymore user this would be most effective on, or if it's even a reasonable choice to use on any of your characters. Like, I know that you get a damage increase whenever your character is shielded by the shield, but it has an HP substat, which is really weird since there are no Claymore users that scale with HP. It's a really weird weapon, but overall, I'm not completely sold on this weapon being good at all. If someone else has a build out there, please share it with me, because I would love to see it and I would love to try it out. But as for now, I can't really recommend rolling for that specific Claymore. So overall, I'm really only suggesting like 3 of these 4-star weapons, and even then, it's not a hard sell. It's more like a, you could, but overall, I would say that, you know, if you're taking it easy with your money, I would say pass on this banner. I don't think it's a great banner. I think it's decent, but so far we've had far better weapon banners. Now, next up, we have the character banner, and this one is a bit more exciting. So I already know that pretty much everybody and their mother is excited for Zhongli. I mean, look at him. He just exudes confidence and badassery. Geo users are really interesting to me because obviously you can build them with their resonance, but in my experience so far, the resonance, there isn't a lot of team synergy between a lot of these Geo units that we have so far. There only being 3 currently. Geo to me seems like it's a one-man team. So, you know, for example, you get your Noelle in there, right? You suit her up, you tank her up, she's going to do a ton of damage, but then you have like 3 other units to help support her. Whereas it's not like you're getting 2 Geo units to work together. I mean, yes, you can, of course, have them work together, but a lot of these Geo units seem like they can be built just super tanky. They have their shields up for their defense, they deal massive damage, and they can just kind of one-man army it, and that's exactly what Zhongli seems like. You know, he can play support, he can play healer, God forbid you get him to Constellation 6. I definitely don't recommend that, even though it's really sweet and I would like it, but that's going to cost you $1 million. He can play DPS, like, he can play so many roles. I think he's a really exciting character. I think he's a really exciting way to get into Geo elements, and I'm really excited to roll for him. If you're looking for a new 5-star Geo character, you know, need someone who's just gonna be super tanky, I mean, yeah, he's really good. I don't think anyone's gonna tell you that he's not worth rolling for, because he is really good. But again, the question is, let's look at the 4 stars, because the 4 stars are what you're going to be getting way more consistently. So if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised that I'm going to recommend this one, because my boy Razor is on the banner. Razor is one of the best DPS units in the game. He's arguably the best 4-star DPS unit in the game. His damage is just nutty. If you build him for physical damage and you pair him with a cryo user, I personally pair mine with a Chi-Chi, but you know, if you were to pair him with like a Kaya, or Diona is even a brand new 4-star unit, she would also be a really good pair. He wrecks house. He does so much damage. His crits can hit really hard. No, he's not going to have the insanely high crits that like Diluc has, but remember, 5-star versus 4-star. And so now that you can easily build up his constellation, he is just going to be a powerhouse. So if you're looking for a new Electro DPS or Claymore DPS, boom, Razor's got you. Now moving on to Chongyun. Chongyun is one of those units that I have really wanted to test out for a long time. I just haven't had the time or the resources to build him. Now, I think Chongyun is really good, both as a DPS and support. I think his kit is really cool. He hits really hard. He can do a lot of elemental damage. The thing to not confuse him with, though, do not confuse him as a superconduct reaction king, right? Because he turns all damage into cryo off his skill. So you think, oh, it's going to be really easy to proc superconduct. Don't do that. I have seen people talking about this, how they see people pairing Chongyun with Razor. Don't. It's awful. It literally takes, if you're using a physical damage user, it literally takes all their physical damage calculations away. So don't do that. But that's not to say he can't be a good support user. He's one of the best supports for Diluc because he can get constant melt procs. Finally, we have Jinyan. Jinyan is super cool. She's really tanky. She does a lot of damage. She also is another shield user. What I really think her role is going to be, though, and whether or not people decide to roll in this banner or not, is whether or not they want another pyro user. Because if we look at the pyro users that we have in this game, the 2 that are most being used currently are Zhongli and Bennett. Now, Zhongli is easy to acquire. You get her through completing stage 3 of the Abyss, and Bennett was just in the shop, in the Stargler shop. So both of those are really easy to obtain. Of course, you have Amber, who you get for free, but let's be honest, if you're looking, comparing those three, she's not even in the same league. She just can't apply Pyro as effectively. Then you have Diluc and Klee. Both are primary DPS units, and both are 5-star units, which are, you know, harder to get. So if you're looking in terms of ease of access, right now, the two best units that are also the easiest to acquire are Zhongli and Bennett. So if you're looking for another Pyro support, or you don't particularly like those two, Xinyan might be right up your alley. As I said, she puts up a shield. She does a lot of AoE Pyro damage. She uses a Claymore, which is, I like me some Claymores. She also increases physical damage while reducing physical resistance of your opponents, which is super nice, which is why I'm going to be testing her out a little bit with my own Razor. Overall, her kit is super sweet, and, you know, I think a lot of people are going to be deciding, like, do I need another Pyro support? And if you do, you're probably going to want to go and try and pick up Xinyan. And if you get lucky enough, getting a Zhongli. But I do think that if you're rolling on one of these two, this is for sure the one to roll on, hands down. So guys, that was the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know down in the comment section below. Have you guys saved up your Primo Gems for this banner, or are you guys whales out there and you're just going to spend as much as you got until you get a Zhongli? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, like I asked before, if you got any info on that Bell Claymore, if you got any sweet builds, let me know. I'd like to hear those down below as well. But guys, that's all I got for today. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you want to see some more content from me, you can head over to my Twitch page, twitch.tv/xjazze, or you can subscribe right here on YouTube by clicking that red subscribe button. Like the video if you liked it, and click that notification bell. That way you never miss a video. But guys, that's all I got for today. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.